Hello again, and welcome back to Mimsy Park. Today we're going to be doing some movie reviews. It's been a little while since I did any movie reviews. However, I got sick and had time to watch some movies. I got sick because people don't know how to call into work, but that's another story entirely. So, without any further ado, let's get into some movie reviews. That rhymed. The first movie we have up, I watched on Netflix. I believe it's a Netflix movie, so I think it's only available on Netflix. It's The Dirt. This is an autobiography of Motley Crue, and from what I can tell, all they really did was take the most exciting parts of Nikki Sixx's documentary and they made it into a movie, so it seems like it goes together. It's not a bad movie or anything, it feels like it just kind of jumps from one event to the next without any like real continuity in between. Like Heather Locklear character, person, whatever, she's in the movie, but it's almost like just to comment on the fact that her and Tommy Lee were together. I'm sure the movie is great if you're a Motley Crue fan. Personally, not a big Motley Crue fan. It's not a bad movie by any means. It's actually a halfway decent movie. Between this and Bird Box, I'm actually starting to like Machine Gun Kelly as an actor, but altogether, it felt very just kind of haphazard, and like it was definitely made for Motley Crue fans. Again, not a terrible movie, just not anything spectacular if you're not really a Motley Crue fan, like I'm not really a Motley Crue fan. Between the narration and the excessive amounts of nudity, I don't have some issue with nudity. It's just all the time, everywhere in this movie. From what I understand, though, it was basically just a bunch of things taken out of Nikki Sixx's autobiography, so it's supposed to be pretty accurate. So, like I said, Motley Crue fan, definitely gonna love this movie. Just watching it for an interesting story. It's a good story, it's just told kind of haphazardly. I can't really not recommend it, but it's not... What? I'm trying to do a video! Oh. What do you want? Go away!
But you can see how, like...
Yes! You know, sometimes I think I did something in a past life to deserve that shit. Okay, where was I? The next one that I watched was The Founder with Michael Keaton, which is about Ray Kroc, who is the guy that founded McDonald's. And as you watch the movie, you discover what the quotations mean, because he basically stole McDonald's, and this is basically the story of him stealing McDonald's. I will say it's super well shot, which isn't really surprising considering it's a big budget film. Michael Keaton is absolutely awesome in this, but I love Michael Keaton. I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie that I didn't like him in. You will end up hating Ray Kroc by the end of this movie. You will. Absolutely 100% will hate Ray Kroc by the end of this movie. This is another autobiography movie. I believe it was taken from his autobiography. Actually, that's where almost all the information comes from, if I'm not mistaken on that. It's an awesome story. Like, just the story alone is awesome, and that's really what's at the heart of these movies anyway. So, yeah, definitely do recommend The Founder. Next up, after The Founder, we have Christopher Robin, which is one of the newer Walt Disney movies, the live-action one. It is on Netflix right now. I am not personally a huge fan of the live-action movies that Disney is coming out with. I'm just not a fan of this whole everything has to be live action, everything has to be new and polished, and we have to redo everything. I'm just not a fan of that. However, Christopher Robin isn't really a rehashing, it's actually just kind of a new Winnie the Pooh story about when Christopher Robin grows up. And I honestly loved this movie. I really did. There were a couple things I wasn't too crazy about. I wasn't really crazy about the way Tigger looked. I wasn't really crazy about the way Eeyore looked, but at the same time, I grew up on the cartoon, and these characters are actually modeled after the original stuffed animals that the original author based all of these characters off of. So they are going to look a little bit different. They look a little bit dull, a little bit ragged, but all in all, awesome movie. Highly recommended. It is going to hit you in the feels. It really is. I promise you it will hit you in the feels, but it is definitely recommended. I heard somebody describe it as sad. I didn't really think it was sad. It's nostalgic, and that's really cool, and there's some moments that kind of like get your feelings and your emotions going and everything. but I didn't really think it was sad. Next up, we have another Disney movie. We have The Incredibles 2, which I've been meaning to get around to for quite a while now. I really liked this one. It's a great sequel. It's basically about the mom getting all the fame, and the dad being stuck at home with like the kids and everything. It just kind of made the dad look dumb, but maybe that's just his character. I don't know. That's just how it felt to me. It felt very like it was pushing that PC message and everything. But all in all, really good. The animation is great. The graphics are awesome. I was laughing my ass off the whole time. Definitely highly recommended. I was kind of like on a Disney kick and everything, obviously, because the next one I watched was Saving Mr. Banks, which is about Walt Disney getting the rights to make a movie of Mary Poppins. At first, the main character seems P.L. Travers, I believe was her name, the original author of Mary Poppins. Emma Thompson does a great job of making her super neurotic and super insufferable. It's really annoying at first, actually, but then as the movie gets along and everything, you kind of figure out where all this is coming from. You do end up sympathizing with her at the end. I have been told that this movie isn't completely accurate when it comes to how she reacted to it and everything, but of course it's a Walt Disney movie. They're not going to make Walt Disney look bad, of course. Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks is always fucking awesome. Emma Thompson is amazing. Highly, highly recommended. The beginning, you're gonna hate the main character at first, but at the end, you are going to absolutely love her, and I promise you're going to sympathize with her. And then last but not least, I think I had enough of Disney, and I kind of went the opposite direction with it, and we have Mara. Mara is a really cool story. It's about a sleep demon, basically, that's haunting these people, that's killing these people, but it's kind of executed kind of poorly. Some of the acting isn't so great. It's really well shot. The lighting is really well done. So from a technical standpoint, this is done pretty well. The problem is that at a certain point, the Mara character is it's almost like she's on screen too much. And so you kind of lose the whole like fear factor and stuff like that a little bit. The ending is fucking retarded. The ending's terrible. It's not a terrible horror movie. It's just not a great horror movie. I wouldn't even really call it a good horror movie. It's an average horror movie. The story is really awesome. The main actress is actually very good. She did a really, really good job. The rest of the cast was kind of, you got some of the side characters that were pretty good. You got some of the side characters that weren't so good. I would go check this out if you're a horror movie fan. It's worth a watch, it definitely is. Just don't expect anything, phenomenal or fantastic. I described it as a well-produced B movie. That's how I would, that is how I would describe it. It's well done within limitations. Go check it out if you got the time, if you want to see a new horror movie, but don't expect anything spectacular. That's going to do it for movie reviews. I hope you did enjoy these. If you do have any suggestions on movies for me to check out and do some reviews on, go ahead and leave those down in the comments. If you liked the video, go ahead and throw me a like. If you weren't too crazy about it, go ahead and throw me a thumbs down. And if you want to stay up to date, go ahead and throw me a subscription. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.